Deep Down, Chapter 1, Wishing You Were Here. Harry had trucks and cars that were functional using corn oil rather than gas. Apparently, his chief scientist had engineered engines to run on corn oil, and he sent down 10 semi-trucks on the highways down towards Oregon as Andy used his radio to tell Victoria about the good news. "Oh, thank you so much. With the power being back, plus the nuts and bolts being opened, it's allowed us to significantly expand the comforts of everyday life." Andy smiled while holding the radio. "Well, Victoria, it seems that you guys will accelerate back to normal in no time. The truck should be there by the end of the day today." Click. Andy then turned the radio off, and Gordon had used his own radio to call in for the Air Force to fly into Washington and Oregon. And soon there were jets that flew above us and landed at Seattle International Airport. Harry showed us around Seattle a bit, and we visited the original Pikes Place and the first ever Starbucks, which, funnily enough, was still a coffee shop. We stopped in and got a coffee. I got a hot latte, Gordon got a black hot coffee, and Andy got an iced chai latte. Harry walked out of the coffee shop with a croissant and an ice water. We all sat down outside of the storefront and basked in the warmth of the February sun. "So, gentlemen, I do believe this is where we part ways, at least for the time being. It's been an honor and a pleasure, gentlemen." He stood up and shook our hands and hugged us all as well, before sauntering off down the street. We all walked back towards the train, and Sparky was strolling in front of us. Got on board the train, pulled around the tracks, and started the descent back to California. The air significantly changed as we rode from California into Oregon. It was a bit drier and didn't smell of dirt and soil. It almost smelled more like industry, or oil and grease. And Andy checked the power level of all 3 states. California is 100%, Washington 73%, and Oregon is actually at 52% power. In the distance, I saw factories suddenly light up. Then after another few seconds, black, thick clouds started to roll out of the chimneys. "Andy, what is that factory over there?" He typed and found that it was a munitions factory. Gordon then stepped up. Yeah, it smells like bullets. So, Oregon is more than likely going to form into a military power. We're going to have to be careful with them, as well as the socialist state of Washington." I nodded and just hoped we hadn't made a mistake in helping to create or help these new societies along. Well, we'd see sooner rather than later.